Hi everyone, welcome to WW Designs. My name is Nikki and today we have to create an item for my swap partner. Now, just because I have so many new subscribers, I just want to explain to you what I'm actually up to. So I'm in an Aussie craft group and this is the second year. We create an A5 journal, we pick a theme. I went nautical this year, and then every month we are given a new swap partner and we have to make 2 specific items. We get a YouTube video to watch and then it's up to us to work with it, adapt it, do whatever we like. But the most important thing is that you work with the theme that your swap partner is creating a journal for. That way we end up with something cohesive. This is my journal this year. I made the cover and then I made the pages, and have a look at this monster. It is absolutely chock-a-block, and even though I have blank pages, I still have one more swap that's going to have to fit into this. I will never be able to close it or even come close, but I don't care. This is absolutely delightful. It is one of the most fun, crafty things that I do, and I love every minute of it. So there is a playlist that I have created called Creative Collab Journal. If you need ideas for ephemera, for junk journals, there is 2 years worth of videos that I have put up there for almost every piece that I have made for my swap partners. And of course, I will be doing a flip through of this one as soon as I have received the next swap. So let's put this monster aside. So the lady I am swapping with this month is doing a spring themed journal. So think florals, pastels, butterflies, you know, dragonflies, all that sort of stuff. Went through my stash and realized, even though I have a lot of scrapbooking supplies, I've run out of all things spring. Everything was too dark or too bold or too whatever. So I went, all right, don't have time to go to a scrapbook shop because I don't actually have any near me. I actually have to drive for over half an hour to get to one. So I thought, what's the next best thing we can do? Well, we can grab a magazine. So of course I grabbed a Daphne's Diary. Now, this is the first piece I had to make for her. I did not video this because I made this very late last night, and it's really very simple. I didn't even know if it was worth recording. But basically, it was a plain white envelope that I have covered completely with a page from Daphne's Diary. It had to have 2 pockets at the front, a little bit of deco that sort of wrapped around the corner. I did put a piece of, this is lined or dot lined paper. I bought the notebook from Daiso ages ago, and of course we had to, you know, put a bit of ephemera in the pockets. So it's a very simplistic one, this one. After last month's, which was one of them was so difficult, I haven't even done the video for that yet. I probably will. I might do it as a bit of a challenge arrangement, but we'll get to that later. So that's the first piece that I have done for her. And thanks to Daphne's Diary and a couple of pieces from my stash, that is complete. And to me, that looks very spring. So the next thing we have to do is really simple. And again, I am using a magazine page, again, from Daphne's Diary. I have lightly inked the edges already, but a couple more will have to be done. Now, this original idea came from Kathy's Garden, who has a YouTube channel. She did hers a little bit differently, so I sometimes like to alter the way things are done and make it a little bit more original. But what you do need is a double-sided sheet of paper. If you don't have Daphne's Diary, use another magazine or something from your stash, or have a look at all those lovely junk journal kits you've purchased off Etsy. I'm sure you've got something you could use, and obviously you make it to the theme that you want. Now, you're probably looking at this going, Nikki, what do you want to use a page for that has like 2 from labels printed on it? it's okay. You're not going to see those. So what you have to do is you start off with your main pattern design facing up and your supplementary pattern on the back. And the very first thing you're going to do is fold the page in half. Just flip this around so I can make sure I get this relatively even. You fold it in half. I think you can all manage that, hey? That's pretty simple. Then the next thing you have to do is you turn it round and you fold it in half again. Again, very, very, very simple. We can all manage that without too much trouble. Now, if your reverse pattern has a direction, have a look at your sides and make sure that it is pointing in the right direction. Use that as your front. Now, in this case, my flowers have a little bit of a direction. It honestly wouldn't matter if I had done this the other way around and they were upside down. For the purpose of this exercise, this is very simple. Mine have a little bit of it. You can see the stem and the flower, so I've got this the right way up. So the very first thing we need to do is we need to turn over this part and we need to fold it. And I'm not going to take it quite to the edge. And we crease that down. And what Kathy did, she actually glued this entire portion down. And I went, how about we don't do that and we create an extra tuck spot on each page? Then we're going to flip this over and we're going to do exactly the same thing on the inside. Except it's a bit hard to see. Oh, there we go. Just tipping it up. So thanks to the light, it's a bit hard to see the air. I don't want to go right into the fold, just so that when you close it, if you go right into the fold, it might all get a bit clunky. So there we go. Now, before I do any gluing, I just want to make sure that the edges that will be seen, so obviously that's this one here, that I ink that up a little bit. I'm just inking this very lightly. If you're not doing a vintage style thing, well, guess what? You don't ink. Very simple. Oh, it's probably easier if I do it like this. Not trying to make this too dark or anything. Then we're just going to gently fold it up again just for a moment because I want to ink down these edges too. I was going to do this in advance and I thought, no, I'll show you how to make this thing first. I might just do this inside fold just a little bit too. A bit too much ink there, that's okay. Okay, done deal. Right, now the first thing we're going to do, we're going to open it back up here and I'm going to, no, I don't have to ink in there. We're going to grab our glue with a fine tip and we're just going to put a couple of little dobs of glue. I don't need a lot here, don't want to overdo it. We're just going to put some glue just on the inside of the fold. And this is just to stabilise this so it doesn't sort of all fall apart when you open it. That step is not vital, but I think it's very practical. Okay, then we are going to glue down these. Now, because I want to keep this as a little extra tuck spot, all I'm going to do is add a tiny little bit of glue here. I sometimes find if you just do it in little dots. You'll get more than enough coverage and it reduces the risk of gluing down too much. There we go. So we've created a tuck spot. Then the next thing we have to do is gently lift this up a little bit. Probably should do this first actually before you fold down the flap, but it really doesn't matter. No, actually it doesn't matter at all. We're just folding this down here and we now have a pocket. So we've got a pocket and a tuck spot. And obviously this is a sealed piece, so we don't have to worry about gluing that. So there we go. Let's just give this another nice fold. Make sure, actually I need, where's my bone folder? Can I find it? Because I just want to make this a little bit sharper. I'll have to do that later. Bone folder is in hiding. That's okay. Oh dear, and we've accidentally bent that. That's all right. So we're going to just do this one first. I'm going to flip this over just so it's a little bit easier to access for the glue, so I get it to the right level. Sealing that off. And then, of course, where are we sealing? We're doing down here. Perfect. And again, we now have another tuck spot and another pocket. And I did not ink that edge. Does not matter because it's actually going to be hidden. So that's all good. So we now have a cute little folder. Now, if you just want to send some happy mail and it's all pre-made, you can leave this exactly as it is and just stuff it full of goodies. But of course, going to add a bit more decoration than this. Now, so the first thing I want to do, I want to add this lace here. So I'm going to glue along and use that slightly more solid bit. And I need to cut some of this off because it's a little bit too long. So I'm grabbing my fabric scissors. We'll use that as our guideline. And then I'm just going to run some glue along here, not too much. Actually, what I might do my old wax paper trick. This gets folded into all sorts of interesting shapes. What I do is, no, not quite small enough. Fold it right over. When I'm gluing down something that may accidentally overhang, I use some baking paper, wax paper. That way, if any of the glue goes overboard, it will not accidentally stick my little tuck spot or pocket together. So now we just hold this down just for a few seconds. Press it down well so that any glue that is going to travel will do just that. And then we don't have to worry about gluing together our little pocket. So I can shimmy that out of the way now. Also picked a few other little pieces that I want to add to this. Of course, all of these came from Daphne's diary. Now, what I want to do, I want to glue them so that they go down a little bit over the edge of the lace. So what I'll do is this particular flower, I'm just going to add glue to the top half, not the bottom, because otherwise I will stick my lace to the base and then we would lose our tuck spot. So there's one flower. Then I have another one. I'm going to do exactly the same thing. So this one would actually make a very cute hidden tuck spot, because with all these goodies, we could possibly tuck something in that you might not even be able to see. And lucky last, I have a cute little yellow one. There we go. And finally, I have this tiny little butterfly, which I'm going to add as well. We might just, oh no, we might just put that over here. There we go. Voila. So that's a little bit of decoration. Feel free, add as much as you want, but I think for now that might do it. So we're going to flip this over and we're going to put some deco on this one. So I have found another piece of lace. This one is considerably thinner though, but I've picked this on purpose just so that when this folds back over and it's going in the post, it's not too chunky. If you use a really chunky lace, and because we're just using paper, not nice heavy duty cardstock, I would hate to end up with this sort of getting damaged. So I went very light. Just going to pop that in place while I add some glue here. This, of course, is Helmer's Tiger Grip, which grips everything. I'm going to do exactly the same thing. Oops, a daisy. I should have just done this thinner, not quite so thick. So before I go pressing, okay, yeah, see, that was just way too chunky. That's better. Now let's just nudge this down a bit. There we go. I think we're safe from leakage over the side. Okay, so for this one, I found this cute little piece of grass in my stash, which I actually cut. I used a die cut, but no, you don't use those scissors, Nikki. They are your fabric scissors. Let me put them away before I accidentally start cutting paper with them. Quite anal about that. Okay. So yes, I love using magazine pages for die cutting because you end up with, you know, you can grass with different shades. Oh, actually that side's quite, no, we'll use the darker one because of the background here. It's just going to apply a little bit of glue. And we're going to make that fit on top there. Perfect. Just hold that down just for a second so it grips. Okay, now extra bits. I have this very cute little birdie, which I'd had to use here somewhere. So a little bit of extra glue. These are all on the thicker side. This was not a normal Daphne's Diary page. It was a page that was on, you know, a much heavier duty cardstock. So I tend to try and use my Helmer's glue rather than a glue stick. Glue stick would probably do the job just fine though, in all honesty. And then I've just got a couple of flowers, but we won't hang those over the edge. We'll sort of put them up a little bit higher. There we go. So nice, simple decoration, but I definitely think that looks nice and springy, don't you? Now, I think we need to make some ephemera rather than, I mean, I've got bucket loads of ephemera, but I wanted to make a few pieces that belong with this. So what I've done, when I want to use magazine pages to make tags or journal cards, what I do is I glue them down onto grocery bags. So you have the grocery bag where the branding printing is facing you, and then you glue your magazine page down. It makes a great little journaling card because you've got this lovely colour at the back here, which means you can write on it very easily, but it also just gives magazine paper a little bit of stability, but it's not too thick. So we have a few little goodies here. I'm going to start off with, actually, first this one here. This was a butterfly shape in Daphne's diary where you punched it out, and then it had different layers and you meant to layer them up, and each piece had a bit more cut out. So what I've done is grabbed one of the full ones because I thought that was really cute, put a little bit of ink around the edge, and that's actually going to be my first piece that goes in my tuck spot. Now, keeping in mind with this tuck spot, if you have anything that's too long and too thick, you're going to run into problems. So when you're thinking about what you want to use, make sure it's not too big. So for example, this is just going to be a cute little decorated journaling card that I have simply used my corner rounder to punch out the corners and a tiny little bit of inking around the edge, but I just want to add a little bit of extra deco. So I'm just grabbing my junk mail magazine that I always use for gluing. Actually, let me put the lid back on that because we're going to convert over to glue stick now. Okay, so the first thing I've got here is this cute little label. I use magazine pages and stamping to make my own labels. I actually have a video on how I do these. If you are interested, it's a great way to use up backgrounds and things making your own labels. It's probably one of the best investments you can make if you're into journaling. You can buy plenty of label kits, but it's lovely to make your own because then you can have customized ones. And I thought this bold green was perfect on this very pale background. But we're just going to cut the edge off that and use part of it. And then because this is so, like there's so much colour and everything going on, I fussy cut out this little herb, and I think that little black and white image will look perfect on here. And it's good contrast. See, it's just how you look at magazines and what you think you might be able to use. Doesn't always have to be the prettiest picture that there is. So we're going to stick that down. And then I found a very cute little green butterfly-y mothy arrangement. But I thought, right, we're sticking with the green theme for this one. So let's have him flipping around up there. And then I also found this tiny little word, grow, which I thought I would use. And I might just gently ink the edge of this. Excuse me, inker. Come here. You cannot run away and retire just yet. And we're going to pop this on. Where is a good question, but we will figure it out. Grab my tweezers for these little fluffy bits. I think we should have it down here somewhere though. Yeah, I think just there will do nicely. Okay. So we now have just a nice, cute little journaling card, space to write on the back. And my intention for this one, of course, was to include it in this tuck spot here and have a look. It is a perfect fit. I actually did not measure this, I promise you. I took a bit of a stab in the dark. Could go that way, but no, this way is perfect. And I like that this little bit you can see. That's why I did put the decoration on that side, because I did have an ulterior motive there. So we're going to do another journaling card. I decided I didn't want to do any more tags, again, because otherwise you get too much stuff and it gets too thick. So I thought, right, no, we'll do another journaling card. And this time, now let me just flip my paper around here. I did cut out a couple of these really delightful bright yellow flowers. I thought they'd look cute if we pop them on here somewhere. And a second one. Okay, and then the same principle with this piece, because this is such a busy background, I've gone for a very simple pot of honey. I thought that was ideal. And of course, you can't make honey without bees. So I found this a very cute little bee, and we are adding that one in. I think up near the flowers here might be a good idea. It's heading back to the hive after a tummy fill. There we go. Again, very simple, but using up images in a magazine, and that is journaling card for this one. We're going to put that in the front pocket. Or gets a bit hidden there. Could be tempted to put a little something there, or maybe not. We can think about that. Okay, the next thing I have planned. This here is quite a simple watercolor style background that I want to use. And we're going to start with this gorgeous iris. And I just loved that it was so bold. I thought that would be a good addition. I'm just going to flip this around. No, I'll do it this way. When you have little delicate bits, try and, yeah, wipe the glue on, keeping in line with the print so that you try not to... I've got a lot of glue on my poor fingers here. Now we're going to have to shimmy this around, and I need to get that to fit right up to the edge, so to speak, and then gently press it down. Oh, a little bit wonky. That's okay. All good. Now, the other thing I found was the word iris. Obviously, it was in the same article, so I thought, why not include that? Might put that in there. Okay. And then I found this very cute shovel. Decided I had to use that because obviously springtime is definitely a time when a lot of people get out and garden. And it was so cute. So we're going to add that. And just very gently placing them in place before you press them down, especially so you avoid doing things like making your stems too wonky. And then lucky last, I found this little green butterfly, and I thought that would be a really cute... I know this is not realistic, but that's not what journaling has to be about. You just use things that you think will be visually attractive. And because we've got the green down here, I thought that was a great idea. And then we have just a piece of twine. What I do, I have, let me show you, where is it? I have this tub, okay? And this is, look, a lot of these things could be filed in different locations, but it's a tub of all sorts of little bits and pieces. When I cut off bits of twine, little bits of ribbon, little bits of lace, little bits of things cut out from magazines, little bits of ephemera. I throw it all in here. And then when I'm creating something and I know I just need that little something, 99 times out of 100, I will find something that I can use in this tub. And when you need to clean your desk quickly and you want all those little bits to have a safe home, honestly, this is one of the best things you can have. So I use it all the time. So I wanted a piece of twine. Lo and behold, look, this little bit of scrap was in there. Just what I needed. And we're just going to feed that through. And then I think we'll cut them off a little bit shorter. And then what I like to do with twine and stuff like that is flip it over. Just sneak in some glue at the back. Press it down. And that way, this annoying little piece of twine will not come undone. It will stick to your finger, but it will not come undone, which I find very helpful. Okay, and then this bit, you know what? No, I'm going to stick with this. But I feel I have to put something on there. I need some contrast. See, that one goes in there perfectly and it sticks out the top. I love that. But I'll tell you what we could do. Hang on. Why don't we do as one suggested and see if one can find something in here that I might like to use. You see, this is why I have this silly thing. It's fabulous. So what I would like is something pretty, and I might even make a bit of a pull tab out of it. Now, that's maybe too dark. What about this, though? This could look quite cute. Okay, so what I've got here is a piece of... this is a... what do you call it? Paint chip. And what I did, I ran it through the... with an embossing plate. So what we've got here now is this pretty pale pink. We might do it around that way. If we fold that over in half, press it down, and then add some glue. And try and not stick it together before you get in between. There we go. Let's get that sort of roughly central. We now have a little pull tab, and I'm not quite finished. I have had another thought. All right, now we're grabbing out another little toolbox that I have. Oh, if we can get it out of here. Sorry, guys. Hang on one sec. Because in here is my little bits thing. And what I have is some tiny little cutouts. I did these with a with my little punches. Oh, I think that's about perfect. Okay, let's use that. Okay, see, we need lots of little stashy spots. You just never know when tiny little bits. See, if I had to go out to get my die cut machine, find a piece of scrap, do you know what would happen? I would not do it. So a little bit of prep in advance on a rainy day and little containers to store things. Guess what? We have now solved my little dilemma, because I was a little concerned that that was a little bit too boring. So that I like that so much better. And then you get that lovely surprise when you pull it out, but I definitely needed something up there. So there we go. It doesn't get much simpler than that. And even if you don't make your own ephemera, use store-bought goodies that you want to send to someone. But yes, if you are into junk journaling and like making these sort of things, this is a very easy project that I think anyone could do. and grab a Daphne's Diary and have a go, or any magazine that you've got. I hope you enjoyed this. If you have any questions, please leave them down in the comments box below, or just let me know what you thought of this idea. I would really appreciate that. And until next time, stay safe and stay healthy. Bye for now.